show coming from the RAC store. With this back in the Mac in the back flow. Let's go, chillin' with raccoons by the back door. Take calls so you can stake more. All I wanna do is making dough, right? But I found this crew and doing alright. We wreck, will bitch, ready to fight. So many raccoons ready for the boss life. I might fly high like a kite, right? But always ready for a shite for the right price. Raccoon supply has the right price. Giving you respect if it's likewise. So I'm buying all the mean guys with the clean heart. Read between lies, laser beam through lean eyes. Warrior with clean lies, trash mouth, mean smile, be wise. NFT wise, fuck with these guys. It's the RAC rap from the back lab. 110 of these in my backpack. Crazy RAC rap from the stash app. RAC will take a lead in this haystack. It's the
Good morning, RAC FM. Today is Thursday, the 18th of May, 2023, and this is your favorite breakfast crypto shit show news, degen, hour time fun happy. I'm Finn, the narrator, the announcer, the producer, the executive producer. I'm going to hand it over to Bruce, who's going to introduce Reach Metaverse. Take it away, Bruce.
Oh, here's the guest of honor, Reach, as well. Let's get them up.
Hey guys, hello. Good evening to you.
Hello, darling.
I'm looking forward to this show, but I'm just going to be kind of like quiet in the background.
Bro, don't make promises you can't keep, and don't make promises we don't want you to keep. Capiche?
Yeah, man. I mean, I just kind of woke up this morning, and for about the first 10 minutes while I was getting the coffee and that, I was totally oblivious to anything that transpired last night. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's some notifications. And then I was like, oh shit. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Awkward much, Robo. Never mind. Yeah, the guest of honor, Brucey, Bbandz. I'll let you do your thing, guys. Yeah. Excited?
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome up, Reach. Welcome up, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Such a pleasure, man. We're always down for a little reach around. Isn't that right, Bbandz?
Yeah.
So how are you today, man? What I don't know what time zone you're in.
I'm in Eastern time zone, so it is 8 a.m. for me.
Oh, perfect. It's a good time to start the day. The sun goes up, you go up. It's like meant to be, right?
Exactly. Getting ready to start the day. Get some coffee in me. Get those brain juices flowing.
Yeah, I'm not by my computer right now, but I do have quite a few questions. I went through the whole site and I did have some questions, so I will give me 5 minutes. I'm just waiting for my daughter to hop on the bus, and then you guys can kind of chat and stuff.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Don't worry
I'll tell you what.
Events.
I'll tell you what. Let's say hello to your man, Reach, because he did reach out, and I'll tell you what, he was absolutely fantastic. One of the easiest guests, I think, dude, that we've ever been able to book on the show, you know. Yeah, Reach. So have you been around crypto for a while? Have you? Have you been kicking around since pre 2018 or what?
No, I got into crypto around 2021. I kind of dabbled in it a little bit before, kind of kept an eye on it, but I started getting really into it about 2 years ago. And then I started working with Reach. Well, we started the company about 1.5 years ago. I'm one of the co-founders. There's actually 4 of us. But it was around a time where I had just left my previous job. It was a little bit more corporate. Didn't like it. Actually, absolutely hated it. And a buddy of mine who I'd worked with before was like, I've got some people you should sit down and meet. And then we got together, and basically out of that meeting came Reach.
So that would have been around the time of peak P2E, Metaverse coins and that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It was we decided right around the peak of we've got the potential to make some really good tools for what a lot of people seem to be wanting and failing to deliver on. So we should start doing something. And right around the time we started is when everything started crashing. And We were like,
Yay!
okay, cool. So there's definitely a need for what we're building, although we've got to make sure that we don't fall into the trap of overhyping like we saw so many projects doing. So it was interesting timing.
Do you think you've had a bit of an advantage rather than being those projects that were like they're like already kind of established at the hype and then crashed like bigger than anything? You guys are just starting out, so there wasn't really a crash for you guys kind of thing. I mean, you haven't released your token yet, right? So like you guys have just been building during the quietest period of the market, right? Which has got to be good for you, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I think when you build during the downturn in the market, you're able to position yourself in a really strong way. Now, I will say it is a little challenging, partially because everybody's a little burned from the failed promises of other projects, that they look on what you're doing with a little skepticism, which I think is justified. But also, obviously, there's not as much money moving around, so it can make it a little bit difficult. But if you're able to just keep building through that, I definitely think it can be an advantage.
And before Bbandz kicks in, because I know she's going to kick in with all the questioning, are you just a general kind of question, to get a bit of the mindset? Are you guys like on-chain maxis? Or are you kind of like quite happy with that, like Web 2 like trade-offs that's going on with gaming right now?
So we actually have tools that work for Web 2 use and Web 3 use. We kind of see ourselves in that middle ground of onboarding. Almost, I've heard some projects talk about it in the terms of Web 2.5. And we actually have some Web 2 clients that are using our platform for things like physical therapy, or building modules for physical therapy that's actually being used in hospitals right now. And then we also have the full Web3 connectivity for Cardano and Ethereum uses. So I wouldn't put us in the full on-chain maxi side of things, but we do have tools that those people can use.
Dude, we'll get back to the hospital conversation later in the convo, because I know, like I say, these two are going to go through loads. But I'm really intrigued by that, simply because I've had to actually like sell to institutional places like hospitals and stuff, and governments, right? And it's like the procurement process and just like getting approval is one of the most longest drawn out things. Like to get in a hospital, any kind of product or anything like that can like take you like 18 months,
But the payout is huge when you get those institutional deals, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like those are the deals you want because they just last forever. Sorry, Robo, I didn't want to cut you off. Just wanted to add that.
Oh, it's a convo for later, mate. Bbandz is coming in with the hard stuff, but she'll tell us when she's ready, right?
Yeah, I just have one question, Reach, and I know it's going to sound extremely critical and very, very hard, right? And it's not reflecting my perspective on your project. It's more a reflection of what's going on in our ecosystem right now. So is there going to be a huge co-founder allocation to the team? So
for our distribution, we have a 10% distribution to the team. When we look at the overall distribution of our token, a majority of the token goes to the community, and then the next largest amount is reserved for business use cases. And then there's the smaller portion that is for team and investors. So we try to make sure that the community focus in our overall tokenomics was the largest percentage.
Oh, it's nice. Isn't it nice to be able to say that with honesty and transparency?
10% is not much, Bruce. I mean,
no, it isn't.
Our devs took 8%, and we were all like, wow, with that. I mean, 10% is a really, really fucking good like team allocation, man.
It is. It really is.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. We spent like probably about 6 to 8 months working on our tokenomics. We have a tokenomics advisor his name's Stephen Ward, and he's the CEO of Vi Finance, which actually just launched their own DEX like 3 days ago. But he's brilliant when it comes to tokens and tokenomics. So it's been an absolute pleasure working with him and building out our models.
Sorry, that sounds amazing, bro. But can you? I'm very business minded right now. Can you hook me up with that guy? Can you get me in contact with him, because I want to get him on a show with another tokenomics genius and just see what happens.
Absolutely, I'm sure he'd love to. I'll shoot. Yeah, I'll just set up something on DMs.
Awesome.
Reach,
thanks,
I know where he's going with this, Reach, because he's a big fanboy of Eric, who has been designing the tokenomics for like Astrovault, Archway, that are a new Cosmobasm chain launching. And Eric was on the show last night, like talking about what's been happening with the founder dumps. That we've just been through a lot of drama, Reach. Just to give you some context, last night we had like 2-3 hour spaces, and like one of the founders was on like crying, and all hell broke loose last night. But I think Bruce is talking about Eric. Is that right, Bruce? Eric the Neck? You'd like to get those two on? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So Eric the Neck, he's I don't know. These are my words. This is not his words. He's a little lonely in this space, in this ecosystem, with his perspective on tokenomics, and he has a very good perspective on tokenomics. He really, really knows his field of expertise, right? So I would just like to see how he plays ball with another guy that sounds like a proper genius.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd love to help set that up. Which Twitter should I set up a group DM with?
You can just set it up with bruceman RAC.
Okay.
Awesome, cool. Thanks, bro. So yeah, just back to the question, man. It sounds awesome with the 10%. Sound like you really thought about it, how to get a good fair start. Is it vested, the team's allocation?
Yes, we have a 3-year vesting period.
Wow. Okay, that's 3 years, like linear. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep, linear. There's a 6-month cliff on it. There's I think we have a 1% unlock off of TGE, and then a 6-month cliff, and then 36-month total vesting.
Excuse me, did you just say TGE?
Yes.
That's that Metaverse world, right?
Oh, no. Token generation.
Sorry. My bad.
Yep, you're good.
I was like, wait, are you talking about the Metaverse? I got confused.
Okay. I think the TGE is about the 23rd. Is that right?
Yes. Our TGE is 23rd. We actually did a multi-token ISPO with Genius X and a couple other projects. So our TGE is not going to be our initial coin offering. It's when we're generating it and starting to release it out for distribution for those community members that were involved in that. But the initial coin offering will be in the first week of June.
So I know we started off with tokenomics, and I was actually going to ask some questions at the end. But since we're already on that subject, I kind of wanted to wait for the end because I wanted to understand what your Metaverse as a service, and what that means with it's mentioned that Reach empowers creators to make private listings, and organizations to house their worlds, and even enables white label development of applications powered by Reach. Can you explain the concept of Metaverse as a service and how Reach facilitates its realization?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So I'll give a little bit of an overview of what we have live right now and kind of how we got to that point, and that'll feed into answering that question. So we have a platform that allows people to build, host, and create metaverses, or simply 3D virtual worlds, which are able to apply Web3 and blockchain connectivity and functionality to. We really looked at where metaverses were going and what tools we could provide. And what we saw was there's lots of ways to apply value with an immersive version of the internet and the fidelity of creations that we could empower people to use. So we said, if this is going to be really valuable, people are going to need a tool for that. Therefore, we should build a good working tool for that. Much like when you look at Web 2, you'll have Wix or Squarespace or other web developing tools to make it so you don't have to have this super in-depth and multidisciplinary team to build what you want. Whereas normally for creating a metaverse, that process looks like, one, you've got to figure out what platform you're building on or ecosystem you're building in, or if you're building your own platform. Two, you've got to build the 3D virtual world. Three, you've got to build an interaction layer so people can actually interact with that virtual world and players in it and other systems like chat and what platforms people can access it from. And then lastly, an interoperability layer to apply connections to things outside of that. So your Web3 connectivity, your blockchain connectivity, even some Web 2 pieces like being able to view browser windows and access account systems. So what Reach does is we try to take out as much of those last two pieces as we can so that you no longer need a team of 4, 5, 6 people to build a metaverse, but you're able to have one person who can build in a 3D environment, or if you don't have 3D development experience, we have an easy builder tool that you're able to use to build these 3D virtual worlds and host those on our platform, and hopefully make that process a lot simpler and more streamlined for the users.
Thank you. So I was reading through everything, and it said something about that has Reach's platform to build physical therapy modules, right, for rehabilitation centers. So can you explain how Reach's tools and hosting enhance the effectiveness and enjoyment of this module? And how do you ensure privacy and security for sensitive medical treatment sessions?
Yeah, that's a great question. Really important. We actually have a sister company that functions as a client for Reach. One of the things that Reach is able to do is you can actually hook up servers on the back end. So we can actually have separate servers running for the medical clients that are hosting everything. And because of the way our account systems are set up, projects and clients can end up setting up their own account systems to be able to either, one, for a medical company which might need to track more data, they can do that. Whereas a Web3 client doesn't want to do that. So they can basically leave it so that data is not tracked for the user, which allows for people to really kind of plug into things as they want to build something that really fits their need and niche. So for us as a company, Reach Cloud, we are not building the medical elements internally. We are basically providing those services to our sister company, Vera Medical, which is the company that is basically run by our CEO and CTO. And then there's a team of basically the salespeople and people working in the hospital that are working with them. But that is its own entity, which we're able to empower to do this and be able to basically make it so that it has its own servers and documentation, which can keep that information private.
Okay, so like there's like really no concern right now for like HIPAA violations or anything like that, is what you're saying.
Yep. It's
Okay.
all the tool that can be used, and then the HIPAA elements are actually the responsibility of the practitioners using it in their account system rather than our. Basically, yeah, we don't have to go through all the HIPAA stuff, and believe me, that's that can get real complicated.
Oh yeah, no, I was just kind of curious because of the whole physical therapy thing, and I just was curious about that. We kind of went through some tokenomics stuff, but there's the Reach Eden continent where users can like own land and customize it with an in-app builder. How does this public structure differ from individual metaspaces? And how does the NFT ownership play a role in governing subsets of the metaverse?
That is probably the best question I've gotten on a Twitter space. There's sometimes some confusion about the structure of how our platform works. So on Reach, we have basically think a baseline of our also what I'll say is our app's homepage, where you can see these different worlds on it. So we have built the Eden continent as a project within Reach Cloud, similar to how other clients can build their own worlds on Reach. We've built the Eden continent. It is a 40,000 acre plot of land. It's subdivided into individual acres. Those acres are what people can own. Only 25,000 of those are available for people to purchase. And then once you own that plot of land and it's in your wallet that's linked to your Reach account, you can access the in-world builder on that, which is the same building tool as building your custom meta spaces. So in that world, if you own the NFT, you can build on that land. And if you own multiple NFTs next to each other, you can build on all of them. Normally, you can't have any parts of things that you build or upload being over the edge of your property, obviously. So when you have those land plots, one of the things you can place down is there's the ability to do portals, and those portals can link you to other worlds that you have created. We're working with some projects to see if we can get some level of interoperability and get those portals linking to other metaverses. That'd be really cool. That's a potential development, so I'll save that for when that's actually functional and live. But right now, the difference is that land is you kind of taking a piece of an existing ecosystem. What we offer with the ability to do what we have on our Myverse builder to build your own metaverse, essentially, or your own meta space, is you open it up and you create it, and it's a flat, completely unadorned ecosystem, and you're able to upload your own GLB assets, and you're able to place them around with a simple building tool. A lot of the things that we have in there are basically kind of what you can do in Unity, but we've simplified it down so it's easier for the user to do. And we want to take more building tools that normally require a higher 3D development skill and put those into the builder in a manner in which users can use a little bit easier. But you're able to build out a world that's its own unique identity. And it's its own isolated space. So you can share that around with a link. It could just be you and your friends. You can make it a private world. You can make it public so anybody can hop in and see your creations. So potentially, if you're a content creator and you wanted to have like a hangout space for your community, you could do that. But that's kind of the structure that's its own one instance of a space. But the Eden continent is more of an overarching land that there's lots of different ways into and could be lots of people on.
Oh, thanks. That's amazing. I'm super excited. I don't want to redo any of the token questions, but I kind of, so with the token's involvement in the ecosystem, like how is this token providing utility and making it easier for users and companies to create and access the metaverse? And can you also explain the specific benefits and functionalities that the token offers within the Reach platform? I know you kind of were like jumping around, like Bruce was asking you some questions about, tokenomics, but, vesting schedules and stuff. I was just kind of curious about how that, I was just curious that question. Sorry.
Yeah, you're all good. So for us, we see our token as the best way that we can provide access to our services while simultaneously incentivizing those services. So people who are using the platform or companies who have a desire to use the platform can use our token in exchange for our services for hosting more spaces, for example, and we do provide a discount for if you use the token for services rather than using fiat. And that's a way that we kind of see that we can actually provide an on-ramp for some Web 2 projects that are going to use this, where they might not be super interested in some of the Web 3 connectivity necessarily if they're building a conference or they're building an employee training simulation, but they would be interested in making a financially responsible decision because they can do it at a more economic rate for them. Then they might use that as a chance to go, okay, well, yeah, we'll get this token and use this to exchange. So we see that as one of the main utilities. And then within that, or beyond that, within the platform, we are developing a marketplace for people to create assets and sell those and share those. And our token will be able to be used to redeem that. We also are going to have different incentive mechanisms for users, being able to promote their spaces and use their tokens for that purpose, as well as being able to provide discounts for their assets, and then other utilities that are more traditional utilities in the forms of liquidity and farming or liquidity farming and different elements like that with actually Wi-Fi, which I was speaking about briefly earlier. There's actually one part of your earlier question that I just realized I didn't answer. You were talking about the ecosystem and how NFT holders can kind of affect or direct the ecosystem. And actually, any of our token or NFT holders will be able to receive our token for their NFTs, basically in a distribution if they vest their NFTs. And as a way that we want to give back to our community who's holding our NFTs and provide them with token and airdrop it to them essentially over a period of time. But when you then have our token, you're able to kind of vote in a DAO structure of what types of assets you wish to encourage for creators to provide to the marketplace. It's a program we're calling Quality Creations, to where we haven't set the time frame on it. We've still got to kind of play around with that, and that's something we're going to see what the community kind of wants to do. But where in a DAO structure, you can vote to say, hey, we want this theme to be incentivized, and provide either a reward to creators who build those kind of assets or a discount to those who wish to buy those assets using community tokens that we've set aside for DAO governance and elements like that. So that's one way where we can kind of direct where the ecosystem's going within the metaverse.
I have a question. So the NFT isn't like having the NFT doesn't give you access to the DAO. You have to have the governance token, which is the Reach token. It's the same token. Is that what you're saying? Or is that going to be a different token?
Yes, it will be the Reach token for that.
Okay, so what challenges or do you think or opportunities do you see like with the integration of tokens and the blockchain, like in metaverse development? Because I'm not 100% down for coins, creating coins and stuff like that. Will the Reach token be like, you can only get the Reach token in the Reach metaverse, right? So you won't be able to buy it somewhere else. It's not going to be introduced is it going to be introduced into the market and have like a value?
So or
is it in DApp only?
So it will be introduced into the market. We actually already did the multi-token ISPO I mentioned earlier.
Sorry.
First mechanism for getting it out to community. And we have plans on doing an initial DEX offering, partially with timing and hearing back from DEXs. That's either going to be mid to late June or end of at some point during Q3 at the latest, that we're planning on doing the initial DEX offering for that. But the main goal of it is utility within the actual application.
So, okay, Robo, I'm gonna let you ask a question real quick. And I let the Matic Gray, she was having some issue coming up. But she is also the Matic Grace is also building a metaverse. And I know I'm sure she has a great question, but she's been in and out. So before I let Robo up, why a token and not like a token that already exists, like Matic or Ethereum, or why introduce a token into the dApp?
So for us creating a token, we saw that as a way that we can, one, provide a little bit more value back to the community if we do our own token. One of the things that we plan on doing is providing liquidity to our token, and doing that in a way where 15% of the revenue that we get from Metaverse or Web3, when I say Metaverse, either the Reach Metaverse, so Eden Continent, elements like that, or projects that are connected to the Web3 elements, we will give 15% of that, or not give, but we'll use 15% of that revenue to provide liquidity to the token, as a way that we can basically provide back some of the value that the community and our clients provide to us. So we saw the token as being the best way for us to do that. Now, that doesn't mean that projects who want to use other tokens within their worlds can't do that. They absolutely can. You can actually already do token gating or access or functionalities tied to tokens, whether that's NFTs or other chains tokens. And when I say other chains, I mean only Cardano or Ethereum. But you can use that. So if your token is on either of those, then you could actually use your own project token in your own ecosystem. That was actually one other element of the token that you could do, is you can build an in-world, you can use our token for an in-world economic system if you wanted to, so that a project, just like we provide the way where you no longer need a super complex team to build a metaverse, you also don't have to go and create your own tokenomics and token to have an in-world economic system.
Thank you. Robo, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I mean, the point might be a little bit moot after that answer. Did you guys, Reach, ever consider like a dual token system? And that was the question, but listening to your previous answer, I'm like, well, that's why they probably didn't. Did you know, like the governance versus like the kind of in-world kind of token? When you were doing your tokenomics, did you take that into consideration? Did you look at it?
There was a time where we kind of looked at some projects that were doing that. I'm going to be honest, I think that almost overcomplicated it when we were looking at that. So we figured just doing it this way would be easier for the community and to an extent easier for us to implement and use.
Yeah, I think that model, that two token model, the governance token versus like the in-game or in-dApp or in-world token, whatever, I think that model's actually dead after the things we saw with like Axis and a few other things, right? It looks like that model isn't like long-term sustainable anymore, yeah?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
That's it for me, Bbandz.
Bruce, did you have any questions before?
Yeah. I have a long list of questions, but they're not. So next time, Bbandz, when you're gonna ask Super Giga Brains questions, where the guest of honor goes like, "Oh, that's the best question I've ever been asked in my whole life." Like when you do that 20 minutes into the space, like what am I supposed to do? Am I just supposed to hand out fucking McDonald's fries and cheeseburgers or what?
It's your fault for not hopping onto a meeting with me. I mean, these questions were existent like hours and hours before.
but they could exist maybe 50 minutes more or something, right? Just
Can we Can we let the audience, wait a minute, can we let the audience know that Bruce is in the group chat saying, I think I'm reconsidering my career options right now?
Yeah, so have you eaten any food today, Reach? Are you hungry? I have like cheesy, cheap cheeseburgers.
I'd go for the cheeseburger. No, I woke up. I actually I didn't even get coffee. It's weird. I actually woke up and I felt refreshed for like the first time in freaking weeks. Maybe I'm just so excited to get on your guys' space.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, happy to have you here. Anyways, I have about 10 questions, and you can let me know if they're relevant or not.
Sure.
Right? Awesome, bro. So, like, if you could describe, or in maybe simple terms, like, tell us what sets Reach Metaverse apart from other blockchain projects in the terms of like your technology and your capabilities.
Yeah, one of our key things that we've believed in and kind of talked about from the beginning is we believe that accessibility breeds functionality, which can unlock people's creativity. So for something to really be able to be used, it needs to be accessible. So that's why what we've built, we try to make sure that everything has the opportunity to be accessed on a mobile device, on somebody's PC with a downloaded application, or in browser and potentially VR and AR, because the current internet is able to be accessed on almost all of those. So if we're using a metaverse to apply a lot of functionality, then we think it needs to be very accessible. So that plays into why we're also being as much multi-chain as possible. Granted, that does take some development, and we currently only support Cardano and Ethereum. But after our token launch and everything that goes along with that, is that, as I'm sure you guys understand, that takes a lot of developmental time. We're looking at adding a few more chains. So I think the interoperability element and ease of access for multiple communities is one element. Second element, I'd say, is our Web 2 functionality and the fact that we have a fidelity of experience that can be used in the medical field. It kind of stands or lets our fidelity and ability to create stand for itself, as well as, I'd say, lastly, the modularity of what you can do. So actually being able to build in Unity, and if you have experience with that, the things you can build in Reach using our SDK and our toolkit is really, really cool. But also, if you don't have that experience, you can do that in the Easy Builder. So I think those three elements are our biggest differentiators.
Awesome, man. Bro, you came as prepared as Bbandz did. That's impressive.
Thank you. I mean, I should know about my project, right?
Right, exactly. But bro, you would imagine that would be like something that's just implied, right? But I can tell you it's not.
Well, thank you.
What,
I appreciate the compliment.
absolutely, man. You should take it. This is the best cheeseburger you're gonna get today.
Bro, can we find out exactly like what your role is within the team, if that's all right, Bruce, at this point? Just like, are you BD? Are you back end, front end?
I think 40 minutes in is a good time to get that established.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So yeah, my actual name is CJ. In Discord and a lot of other stuff, I go by Tass. And I started off actually in operations management and finance was what I studied and then did a little bit of work in. But I've never really found a single job that I just loved as much as I do this. So I bounced around between some like real estate investment stuff, some like a little bit of accounting, and then some IT, and then moved over into some actual operations. And that was the corporate job that I didn't really like. But I have always loved tech and always loved problem solving. So it took me down like a little bit of a coding route at one point and almost into engineering, but I am much more of a business focused person. So those are always elements that I kind of kept in my back pocket to help me in business. And my title is Director of Business Development and Marketing. So I generally work on just growth of the company, be it brand growth or adding clients or doing stuff like this and talking about what we have. It's really cool. I think our co-founders, there's 4 of us that I kind of mentioned earlier, but our roles all kind of segmented, and we each kind of have our own area that we're good in. And our CEO, Paisal, he does the actual 3D development, the building of worlds and the building of modules, and he's really, really good at that. Also, just general direction. He's started his own engineering firm. He was a lead engineer at a couple of global firms for just building some technical engineering stuff that's beyond my capabilities, but I recognize that they're really cool. So he's done that in the past. And then our CTO, Solomon, actually worked on a few really popular mods for GTA 5, actually. And we actually had people come into our Discord when we were first starting up, like, hold up, are you Solomon? Are you the guy that used to make this mod that I really liked? So we still have people tracking him down from those days. But he's the one who's built the core actual application. And he's the one. He's a wizard. Sometimes we were talking about different features we want. He'd be like, "No, that's really hard. That's really tough. I don't know if I'll be able to get to that." And like 2 days later, he's like, "Yeah, so it's implemented." And I also figured we could do this too. So he's been fantastic on that. So he focuses on the actual building of the core app and adding features and maintaining everything. And then Showery is our chief crypto officer. He's been in blockchain for like 7-8 years. He was did some work in the test nets of Ethereum and in Cardano. He's the reason why we went the direction we did of Cardano for our token and for our NFTs. And he's kind of a jack of all trades, honestly. He's dabbled in AI, he's dabbled in actual building on the application, also doing all of our Web3 connectivity elements, and just generally knowing about tokenomics and being really, really smart in those areas and being able to. I think this guy literally can code in 17 different languages, which I might take advantage of sometimes, and he'll be building stuff. I'm like, yeah, well, you could just switch and do it in this and this. He's brilliant when it comes to those things. So my role is then in the business development, like I said. So that's kind of how our core team segments out what all we're doing.
Does your man program Rust as well? Does he? Is he into Rust and Cosmwasm or what?
I don't think so, but it honestly wouldn't surprise me.
Because you've just kind of rugged me. I mean, I didn't have many. These two were taking the lead tonight. I only had a couple of questions. One of them was the split token thing. I mean, I did have the elephant in the room question, because that's normally my job. I'm the pleb. And it was like, why Cardano? So like when I look at you guys, I mean, fucking Ethereum, of course, blah, blah. Like, but that's the sole reason for choosing Cardano was what you explained there, yeah? About your man.
So the I can go a little bit more in depth into why Cardano. It's a question I get pretty often. One, when we were first starting, one of the elements we were looking at is the gas fees and how expensive it would be on other chains, and we liked Cardano for that. But as we were talking, Showery was explaining to us more some of the structure and way in which Cardano is built and their kind of goal of longevity. Not that other projects are not focused on longevity, but their focus on putting out things that have been peer-reviewed, researched, and more of a slow but steady moving in their development, which I think mirrored a focus that we were looking to have. Just similar to how I kind of said at the beginning, we've been burned a little bit by projects that promised a lot, then failed to deliver, that we wanted to make sure when we put something out, if we needed to delay to get it out, it's better to delay and not have overhyped but to say this is what we have, this is what we're doing, and that was a sentiment that we feel like was represented in Cardano, which is why we kind of went that direction on top of the gas fees and other elements like that, and also just the ease of building on it for him as well.
Bro, did you just throw me under the bus there, did you? I mean, we're not even an hour in, 45 minutes, and you went, oh, Bbandz, that's like the greatest question I've ever been asked on a Twitter space. And then I ask, and you're going, oh, everybody fucking asks me about that on every space, like you little pleb. And I'm like, oh, shit.
No. It means.
I'm joking, bro. I'm joking.
It's important.
Bro, I'm only joking, man. You come on RAC FM for a reason. We've got, it's nice to have a bit of banter, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was trying to. Oh, sorry. I was trying to get all the questions and everything out in the first hour because we usually chill for like 2 hours in the morning. So if you wanted to hang out with us longer and just shoot the shit, that would have been awesome. But I just wanted to see, get as much out of you as I could, But listen, we have Earl Grey. She's up here right now. I've gave her the speaker role. I know she was having trouble coming in and out. I don't know if she has a question or she just needed the speaker role so she could hear. Hey, girl, how are you?
Hey, Bbandz, what's up? Yeah, I've had trouble hearing and speaking on Spaces, but I just had to come up and say, really interesting conversation. We're all about the metaverse, so I love to soak up any information I can about new projects and projects I don't know about. So thank you for hosting this. You guys are always so entertaining. I like to just listen to you while I'm having my coffee and get my kids to school because the two of you together are you got good chemistry. It's not so much a chill space as it is like just chilling, and it's a lot more real than a lot of spaces. So I quite enjoy it.
Thank you for those words, Earl Grey. Real kind. We really appreciate it, and that's what we want. That we want to do, man. That's what we're trying to do to make spaces. We want to listen to ourselves. So yeah.
Can we quickly find out about? Oh, sorry, Bbandz. Sorry.
Okay, I just real quick. I just want to let you know, Reach, Earl Grey is a part of the Matic Greys. Her husband, her daughter's a developer. She's the CEO, I think. And so they're building this metaverse, and it's awesome. They're building it with their family, and they're taking their time, and they're coming through on all of their promises. Every time they get to a different milestone on their mint, they donate to the Ronald McDonald House on Ethereum. They send it over, and it's just so awesome to see this project continue to build and grow. So I just wanted to introduce who Earl Grey was. And the Matic Greys is their projects. Just want to give her a little shout out. But go ahead, Robo. Or I'm sorry, you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for coming up. Also, Earl, if you're interested in potentially building on Reach, I'd love to chat with you and kind of show you some of the tools we have. See if it could be any help to you guys' project. And also, I love the family focus. Actually, one of the reasons why our name's actually called Reach is because our CEO had two little kids that hadn't met their grandparents yet because of COVID. So he actually took and scanned part of his house, uploaded it, and hosted it on Reach, and then had his parents join in and then streamed some pictures of his kids in there. So family is very important to us as well.
That is so cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, we've been doing this for about 1.5 years. We've been affiliated with a few metaverses. We're affiliated with Worlds Beyond, which is going to have a really big tournament coming up where you can win prizes and games, and we're doing a lot of things with them. We're also building in spatial. So yeah, anything with family is extremely exciting with us. The crypto and Web3, it kind of runs the gamut. And I mean, our daughter is, she's a fine arts student. She's a brilliant developer. She's also her last year in college. And we all just kind of wanted to bring all of our talents together and build something that was for us and our family and kind of our way to decentralize our life. And the metaverse is just such a great way to bring people together, especially families. So yeah, I'll totally reach out. Sounds great.
Robo?
I'm just admiring the space and the audience that is in here, all very well educated people. I mean, shout out Brian, IBC Mafia, Home Pleb, Jacob's in here, Chris, Brasco, Smiley, Terra Spaces, the Greys. I mean, this is such a educated room, but also, man, like, you know, we've been talking about the circuit and like generic spaces and like do something different. This is where it's at, right? This is like I can't even believe we're like nearly an hour in and it's just flowing like a beautiful river. I mean, the thing that I wanted to ask about was the hospitals. Like I say, I haven't dealt with them before in their procurement departments and haven't been through the entire like 18-month process to be able to like get something in the hospital. Did you guys did you face any kind of, you know, especially with it being like Web3 and this like new tech, did you get any like resistance? Like, because normally you get resistance with normal bloody products. So trying to put this in a hospital, how did you guys achieve that? Did you have some like an inside contact?
So a little bit of both. Our CEO knew a guy and had been talking with him about different things. And I think it was a friend of his. He was talking about some challenges. The rehabilitation center that our client Vera Medical is in is generally one that tries to kind of push into new tech and find new ways of using tools to provide physical therapy better. So they already are kind of an innovatively minded group, which makes it a lot easier. And the other way we kind of did it was we like to take a focus of one. I'll jump to that in a second. Let me go back to the thing you said with getting negative feedback because of Web3 elements. That's actually where Vera Medical comes in as its own company, because for them, they are using our tools, and whether they're using the Web3 elements or not, they're using the tools to build the physical therapy modules on the Reach Cloud engine. So for them, they're not a Web3 company. They're strictly Web2, and they also have, kind of as we touched on earlier, a little bit more HIPAA adjacent restrictions on them, where they're being a lot more careful with, they're not careful, but a lot more intentional about their data elements and their patient data, and how that interfaces with the hospital's patient systems. So for them, there wasn't really much pushback on what is this tech? The tech that they're using. It was more of a, does this work? So from a does this work standpoint, we provided services to them in different elements and just worked with them in a very, I think, friendly manner when it comes to business of just, what do you need? What features are you experiencing that need different use cases? What feedback are you getting? And just being very relational in that aspect of showing them how this technology can be used for them. Because they had a general understanding that using virtual reality for physical therapy can be extremely valuable, because it, one, distracts the user a little bit because you're immersed in a world that isn't the one that you're used to. So in that element, you're able to do physical therapy for longer and therefore have it be a little bit more effective. And then also the motion tracking that you're able to use with the system that they have is able to kind of tell, like, while somebody's doing a physical therapy module, so say they're doing something kind of like Beat Saber, you can go, oh, this user doesn't have as much mobility in their left shoulder, and the doctor, because this is one of the feedbacks they had, they're like, oh, well, we'd like to be able to, if we know that, can we target it immediately, or do we need to start a new session? The doctor's actually able to, while the patient's still doing it, change some of the mechanisms on the game that the person's playing and target different regions, so they could make it so, oh, let's make sure these fire a little bit higher up, so they actually have to lift their arm more. So then the patient ends up doing that without even realizing that. Whereas in a traditional sense, it's like, okay, yeah, well, your arm's not moving high, like, just pick your arm up higher, or we're going to do more of these repetitions. So that element of being able to have that relationship and almost instant feedback is what really helped that process. And there was a decent period of time where we were working with them in the development of features for that. That was just a longer process than we've done with any other companies.
Hey, Robo.
Yeah, I've kind of got two questions. One is I do want to ask about your competition, like if you have any and how do you rate them. But when I'm listening to you explaining about this, I mean, are you guys doing anything with like veterans or anything like that? Because to me, this would seem like the ultimate use case for especially considering that like the people that you're talking about in these like therapies and stuff, they might not have like, got the PTSD, etc., that some of these veterans and stuff have got. Is that an avenue you've looked at?
We actually do have one client that is kind of exploring something along that route. So one of our other clients is their name is DigitRub. They do digital marketing, and they've actually been able to use our tools to provide Metaverse as a service, where they've been building these virtual environments for clients. They're not only doing it for themselves, so they have somebody they've built for therapy and different mental illnesses. So being able to have some immersive worlds that are calming and relaxing, or doing like a guided mindfulness walkthrough, different elements like that. There's actually talk of doing almost exposure therapy for PTSD. So having a grocery store that somebody could walk through. And if they're normally freaked out by large crowds and a ton of people can overwhelm them, you have an ability to almost ratchet that up and go, okay, well, now it's an empty grocery store. Well, now there's one or two people around the store. Okay, well, let's make it more full and more full and more full, and turn up the ambient noise a little bit. So there's conversations on them developing something like that for clients. So we've kind of explored it, but we don't have anything live of that element right now.
Reach, I don't know if it was just me, but yeah, something happened to your sound. I mean, we caught it. Don't get me wrong, I caught every word, but your sound became very robotic. I don't know if maybe your earbuds died or something, the battery went, but there was definitely a change, Bruce. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounded like your device changed microphone.
Is it still doing it, or is it any better?
I think when you walk away, like I guess wherever you're talking to it, it's like when you move away from it, it sounds like that. But as you get closer, it sounded normal.
Okay. Well, I hope that doesn't happen again. I'll try to stay as close to the mic as possible.
No, see, that's I don't know what it is now. I have to take it back. I'm not sure, but we can still hear you. I mean, I can still hear you, no problem.
I just have something to add. Like the thing you talked about with the mindfulness walks, bro, that is very interesting and exciting. I did exactly that with the wireless headsets, and I had a microphone and a transmitter, and then I took kids out in the woods, also grown-ups, and then just guided them through a mindfulness walk through the woods. Also with some of them were blindfolded, and yeah, we did all kind of stuff, but
I think it's hilarious
exciting.
How you said you took kids out into the woods, and then you're like, and grown-ups.
Yeah, I had to add it.
And we blindfolded, and we did all kinds of shit.
I took kids into the woods, and I'm like, Bruce, please pull this back, please, don't send yourself down the fucking river like this. Come on.
Yeah, I can try to make it better, but in reality, it's gonna make it worse. I was paid by the government to do it.
That makes sense. The government didn't like fucking kids either, did they? Reach, what about your competition, dude? What's happening at the minute then? Are you worried, or are you in the clear, no market competitors? No? You mentioned other people.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. I do recognize that there is some competition out there. I think Earl could probably speak to this with Spatial. Spatial's been doing some really good stuff. And they've been putting out some really cool developments. I will say they recently put out their SDK. We've had our SDK out for basically since we started. They went from a browser focus and then expanded to SDK and multi-platform whereas we kind of started from the SDK and tools for more complex building, and then simplified those and started providing the simpler building tools. I think our focus on the modularity and the access while still being able to retain a high fidelity experience sets us apart. And also our ease, and part of that modularity comes into our actual ease of development. Not that developing's easy, don't get me wrong, but I feel pretty strongly that we'll be able to iterate and add features like other chains relatively easily. And I think there are other projects for different reasons. Not every metaverse needs to be everything to all people. That's where I think some people aren't going to want to build their own metaverse or their own. For example, not everybody builds their own web page, but they find communities within existing ways of interacting with the internet. So I think there's some elements of that will definitely have a role to play as well. But I think for what we kind of offer in the projects and companies that we want to provide services for, that we're definitely going to be the best option for that.
Wow.
You got a question?
Yep.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're thinking about working with other metaverse, like with the Matic Grays, we're really into interoperability. And we're going to have in-game items and, NFTs that are playable in almost every metaverse that we're affiliated with. And you're very right, again, about spatial. It's very cool that you're ahead of spatial on the SDKs. We're also partners with Altura. I don't know if you know them, but you should look them up. Their technology with SDKs is just crazy. But spatial, just like even in the last month, the technology that they've released for just builders in the general public is amazing. My husband has jumped on that, and we're about to release our spatial experience. And there's stuff like backpack items and quests, and it's just come a really long way. So yeah, I'm glad you're into that too. But yeah, the interoperability is really big for the Matic Grays because we want, of course, our community to, have utility in all of these metaverse, and for it to still, we're on Polygon, so we want it to be, fairly not. We don't want to gouge our community. So yeah, I was wondering, what are your plans for interoperability?
Yeah, thanks for asking. And I have to agree, Spatial has been doing some really good stuff recently. It's super cool to see what they've been developing and providing for people. For when it comes to interoperability, one of the things that we kind of want to make sure that we enable creators and projects to do is to apply functionalities within their worlds based off of their NFTs. So when you're creating something, we need to make sure we have the blockchain connectivity pieces in place so that you can even apply functionality, or so the system can even recognize that a user has your NFTs, which we can do for Cardano and Ethereum. And Polygon is one of the ones at the top of the list to add on when we have the bandwidth for it. But being able to go, okay, so somebody has this NFT. Now, if you own this, this backpack's functionality in becoming a jetpack is now turned on. Or you have this gives you access to this world or this section of the world. Or if you have this gives you access to the building in a certain community area or community space. So those things end up being powered by, or you can apply those functions in Unity with our SDK pretty easily. And then all that takes is for somebody to have it in a wallet that they've linked to their Reach account. But when it comes to cross-metaverse interoperability, it can get a little difficult when you're talking about what is the experience for a user who's in that metaverse and then jumps through a portal to come to this metaverse. What does it look like? If it's the first time that they've ever done that, it's probably going to look a little different than if they're already logged in on both. Or is there a way for that login information to be almost passed over? This is some of the conversations we've had with there's one project that we've been kind of exploring doing that with, because it's just a better use case for us and them. But we've been exploring that, and that's some of the stuff that we've been trying to figure out. One of the things that we try to do is to make it so that people can upload their own assets in their lands and in their worlds, which I think will allow projects to keep that intellectual property that they have from projects and be able to just build with it and use it and kind of transfer it over, to kind of provide the experience of interoperability, to say that my assets from here are also my assets here. Even though it's not like in a house, when you take a cup from one room to the other room, it's the same cup, but virtually you can say, like, in this room, because I have my coaster, which we'll say the coaster is the NFT in the wallet, my cup shows up. But when I walk into the other room, I set my coaster down and then the cup shows up again, which I think would be almost a better way of looking at it, because you will have this thing if you already had this other thing, because the cup isn't going from room to room, but your coaster is getting checked in each room. I don't know if that's a good analogy. I just made that up off the top of my head, so I hope that answers your question.
Oh no, it totally does, and I'm just very impressed by you. And I will be joining your socials. I think you have a Telegram and a Discord. So and the mental health aspect and the healthcare tools just really excites me. I used to be a phlebotomist, and I really into mental health, went to an analyst for like 10 years, very much interested in mental health and mindfulness, coming to the metaverse and things like that, and using it for like PTSD or, to face your fears and things like that. I think it's brilliant. And that you're already working with hospitals and navigating around HIPAA, which is a big one. Just shows like your due diligence and your seriousness. And my only other question was, and my hope, you guys are doxxed.
Yes, we are doxxed. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, I just always ask. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
He is doxxed. He's called CJ, right? You said your name was CJ, yeah?
Yep. My CJ is a nickname I was actually given at birth. My full name's Charles Jr., named after my father. But I've always gone by CJ, and now it's kind of become Cass a little bit. So
awesome. I'm Chelsea. Nice to meet you. My whole family is doxxed, even my little ones at this point. So yeah, I'll be reaching out. Thank you.
Well. I'm going to do like a little bit of like a room kind of reset that we do sometimes, right? It's about time. I'm going to say this. I mean, CJ, like, I don't know how many like racks, RAC FM spaces you've tuned into or whatever, but we have this like legendary thing, and it's about passing the RAC sniff test. Bruce and Bbandz, I'll tell you what. Like, literally, dude, tonight, I'm sitting here and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy knows absolutely he's like, and dude, you wouldn't believe we get like BDs and that coming on, and community managers, and like for an example, we had Matt on from Checked Protocol, right? The L1 chain, right? The SSI, Sovereign Identity Chain. And like the community manager, I'm like, fuck, this is the best like performance, like answers. Like he's like to the main guys, let me take that one, and then bang, he's on the money. That's what we call it, dude. On the money. Talk about passing the sniff test. I mean, Bbandz tonight, your man CJ has been unreal, right? What, you picking the kids up or something? Hello, Bbandz. She missed that one.
Could be. But absolutely, man. CJ is working for his buck. You can hear it in his voice, man. He knows what he's doing, and he's enjoying it as well, it sounds like.
Imagine if he's like I'm saying, like, he is the representation kind of like of his team here. Imagine how good the team are if like they're all like that, and if he's like that, the team's good. Oh, you're back. Oh, she's back.
I'm so sorry. I apologize. What was the question I missed? I'm so sorry. I stepped away for a second.
I'm
Okay, I'll
just
do
rimming.
this.
I'm just basically publicly like rimming CG on a spaces, like saying how good he is. But you missed it. Never mind. All right.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I'm kind of glad I missed it. It's kind of like it gets a little hot and heavy when you start your rim jobs. Anyways,
Has he performed tonight though? Has he represented his organisation like amazingly well, or what?
absolutely, absolutely. I'm extremely impressed, and I'm delighted that I got the opportunity to chat with you and hear so much about your project and so in depth and detail. So thank you for that, and thank you for being so knowledgeable.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I honestly, I really just, I praise God that our team came together, because the other guys are even better than I am at what I do, at what they do. It's really nice to be in a kind of a team that we all know what our goal is. We know what our strengths are, and we're able to just really, really tear down into that. It really is a blessing.
See what I mean? Your man's on fire. Yeah, that's what you call a good interview. I only had one more question for me for the night, and then we'll get your man to shit talk if he's got a little bit more time. I don't know if he has. If he's BD, he's probably really busy. Ryan will tell you that. Dude, right, you, not your company, not your organisation, but you personally, your preference, let's say you're on Ethereum and you're on Cardano. If you would have another home, a third home, where would it be and why? Like you personally, though, your opinion.
Yeah, that's right now. I'm between Polygon and Binance. I think both of those have great projects on it, and I think there's going to be continued good development in both of those ecosystems. Although if I had to pick one, I'd lean more towards Polygon, I think, because I've just talked to more Polygon projects recently. So that's where I'd go. Also,
dude, don't lie. Don't lie. You're live on a Spaces. You've done well. You're going to go to Polygon because of the higher IQ. You're not going to get into fucking Binance, fucking Smart Chain, Pancake Swap Plebs. You're going to get into the high IQ chain, and yeah.
Hey, ideally, I want to add all of them. I want all of them to be able to build on Reach. But if I say that, my devs are going to kill me.
I was only joking. I'm probably going to get really wrong off these two after the show. I don't know, but I was only making a joke. See who's down there, Bbandz? Risby?
I was looking. I was seeing everybody that's in the crowd. If for anybody who just hopped in, we have Reach Metaverse here, has been chatting with us regarding their project. If you missed it, I would definitely catch the first hour because there's a lot of good information there. But I wanted to see if, hey guys, you think it's okay that we open up the room yet, or
that's on CJ. CJ, are you all right for time, or what's happening,
questions, bro? Or
I will have to hop off in about 5 minutes. I've got a meeting after that, but I'm down to chat for a little bit till then. Also, on a completely personal note, I was looking down and I saw that, you said Risby? I saw his icon and it seems like he's a One Piece fan, which I am also a huge One Piece fan. So shout out to you, my guy.
Dude, One Piece. Me ex-wife was an absolute One Piece addict, and my dog is called Chopper. I tell people it's after Chopper Reed, right? Because, Chopper Reed, the Australian gangster, 'cause I met him before he died. But actually, it's not. Like, my missus named the dog Chopper because of the character Chopper out of One Piece. But Risby released an NFT collection, the Gelato 2s, I think it was. And there was so many of them that were like the One Piece ones. And, dude, these things are worth a fucking fortune, man. They nailed their branding and marketing and, yeah, man, these are cool. I'm telling you, Risby, you just need to be in this metaverse, bro.
Risby is a little shy in spaces, but in what I've heard in public places, he's not shy at all. It's a weird thing.
He's not shy.
Can we?
Me and Risby got to dance.
Reach hasn't got long. Can we just have a general question about so, dude, you must be fucking bullish on the entire crypto world, right? We've had so much drama in the last year why didn't things like FTX and the Lunar Crash and BlockFi and Celsius and everything, why didn't all this? Why didn't it put you off? Why didn't you just go and do something else? What are you in it for? The love, the passion, the tech, the banter, the shit talking? I mean,
I think honestly, when it comes down to it, I see where this can go, and I can see that there's tons of value here because the tech is functional. So if I were to pick one of those things, I think the fact that what exists has a lot of use, and it might be rough, it might be unpolished right now in some areas, but I think it's very clear that the tech and everything that is here that underlies a lot of these projects really does have some fantastic uses, and that ultimately will be proved out and will be shown. It'll just take a little bit of time to get there.
Right, and then I know you've got your meeting. We're not going to keep you. We're really respectful of people's time. Last question: the next time you guys are going to drop some like big alpha, or like well, not big alpha, maybe the little alpha. Say, well, the RAC FM guys are really cool. They'll build up an audience. This will get loads of hits, bro. I'm telling you. Like, come on, next time you've got a bit of alpha and like hang out. Is that all right? Yeah.
Absolutely, I'd love to be back. It's been a joy to start my morning with y'all.
How do we rate amongst you like normals? I mean, I know you've got your little family where you have the good crack, but you know when these other standard shows bring you on and they're like, oh, tell us about your project and your background and blah blah blah, and you're like, oh, fuck, here we go again. Have you enjoyed yourself? Yeah.
I have. You guys have probably done the best of having like actual questions beyond just what's Metaverse? How do you see yourself in the Metaverse? But actually digging in, I've really appreciated that.
Lovely, CJ. Bbandz, your man's got to go. I've been on the timer, 5 minutes. Have you got anything to say before we head off? Earl Grey, got anything to say?
Just thank you guys for having me. You're such a joy, such a light in the space. There's a lot of garbage to edit through, but I believe, like Reach said, you know, the technology will show itself. It will become world changing. It's just a lot of garbage to edit through, and you guys are like part of the reason I stay in the space. So thank you.
Oh, your woman's lovely, isn't she? She's got a right golden heart, hasn't she?
How am I supposed to talk after that? I'm like literally.
She's lovely, isn't she?
Heart.
I know, she's lovely.
So sweet. But yeah, I think I already said, you know, how I felt about the whole thing. I just really enjoyed this time, and you know, thank you so much for showing up and reaching out.
Absolutely. It always cracks me up with all the reaching out puns. So yeah, thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. I'm gonna hop off, but if anybody else has any questions or anything, I think they pinned a tweet, and it's our pinned tweet that has information on our documentation, how to get started, links to the application, being able to just go check it out. You can start building today. And if you guys build anything, let me know. I'd love to share it out on our socials and kind of shout you guys out. So I hope to see you in Reach and see what you guys can build and do with it. So thanks for having me, guys.
Take care, CJ. Love you loads, Bruce. Say bye-bye. We're gone.
Bye-bye, Reach. Jesus Christ, Robo. Why you talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old cold?
You
There's no how to say bye, and now you wait.
Do you listen to him?
All right, I'll see you guys. Thanks.
See you, CJ.
I knew I was going to get wrong for that one.
Robo.
What?
Robo.
I'm hyped.
I'm hungry.
Hyped. Oh, you're going to start eating. What have you got?
I'm telling you, I'm hungry. Make food for me.
Bro, I mean, Bbandz, honest to God, that was absolutely brilliant. Like, we're in the Discord group chat, and we're like, wow, your woman came to throw down. I mean, that's some of the best questioning that I've ever heard on a space. Like literally, I'm fucking blown away. Like, guys, anyone come up and speak. Finn can edit this shit. What an amazing space. But Jesus, Bbandz, that is you. Like that is. Bruce is like, I need career options now. That's how good you were right there, mind. And I'm not like doing this on air. Like, this is real shit in the Discord group chat. We're like, oh shit, we're getting shown right. Well, we're not getting shown up. It's not about that, is it? But like, Bbandz, you killed that. Ooh.
She's fucking golden, man. That gelato high of Bbandz, that's the best play in 23.
Fucking
Did you
Risby's
say
just
the
rugged
gelato
them.
high? That I'm on a
Risby's
gelato
just
high? What did you say?
Risby's just rugged the entire fucking market, like with Bbandz there, like hasn't he just front run everybody? We're loving it. RAC FM
Absolutely.
couldn't be
I
like,
said higher,
oh.
Bbandz. The gelato higher.
Oh, higher. Okay. I was like, I'm high off a gelato, like, like, I don't know.
That was a great space, and honestly, Earl Grey, thank you, darling, so much for coming in, man. You resonate. Like, I remember when you were on like the 3rd or 4th episode of Bbandz, the whole kind of family. And honestly, God, coming in tonight, darling, yeah, what a beautiful soul. Honestly, God, this space is just like, oh, so good.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys, actually, I think I'm just going to start vibing here because you guys aren't on Polygon, right? But I mean, you're just kind of my people. So I'm so sick of being in spaces with milk toast, like fucking, excuse my language.
No, don't excuse your language at all, girl. This is how we talk over here.
You guys are my people. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do is just start vibing here. I think
Earl Grey, there was 2 spaces last night. There was 2 like 3-hour spaces last night. I was only in the first one. Oh, you'd have been vibing all right if you'd have been in those, because Jesus. I mean, Finn's going to cut this, isn't he? Finn's going to cut the interview. But if anybody like is alive in this room that went through what we went through last night, and then so today I listened back to the second one, Bbandz. This second one, I mean, I don't know if you want to comment or if you want to say anything or like, I don't know. I heard people crying and I'm hearing crocodile tears and I'm hearing lots of stuff. I mean, Bruce, did you listen back? Am I dreaming? Am I in the metaverse?
Yeah, so I only got halfway through it. I had to go do some stuff, and then I met this guy that was ran over a couple of years ago, and I just ended up talking with him and helping him for like a couple of hours, and then I had to go back and do. So
you didn't go to So you didn't go to the timestamp that everybody sent me. Like I woke up to like it was in the Discord group chat anyway. Then it was like 4 DM saying Robo just skip straight to like 2 hours, like 1 minute, and start from there. And then I mean,
I was serious because I got to 1 hour and 59 minutes.
Oh, Joe and Tank are 2 of the best in the game. I mean, if you pick up on like, if you're really clever with like language and like the real intricacy, like, I mean, it's psychological, like what happened last night. Like, I didn't want to go into it. It's not my place to talk about like how, you know, a conversation can be like filtered into like one like direction kind of thing. But well, I mean, when Tank came in, and obviously after the space last night, when I said about Ekes and Polytone, etc., like for Tank to pick that up, like when I wasn't there, because I would have said that if I was there, I would have asked that question. Like for Tank to be able to like just come in and just like pick that up and ask Jake that, I was like, a Tank, man, like literally, guys. Tank is like one of the top guys in this like entire space from a community perspective. Like people whenever if you want to talk about like Donut, like and others, like they come nowhere near to being as matter of fact about the truth. Like I think what did Finn say before about Tank? He said about Minis and why he invested in them. Right? It was like. He's putting his like money in the man that goes to church every week, right? Like Tank's like a proper, wholesome, anti like many things that are bad for people. Like he promotes this like happiness and wellness, and like he's got this just real positive vibe, but he's also like a flag bearer of truth. And like he just came in hard with that last night, and he pushed back on a lot of things.
Tank Tank got a really rare quality that is called virtue and integrity, and it's not seen that much in the space that we're in right now.
But there was this period in that spaces last night with him and Joe, like backwards and forwards, and like I don't want to say that Jake was exposed or his vulnerabilities were on show. We're all human, but he didn't have an answer. He repeated a lot of things actually throughout the space. If you actually go back and you listen, you're like, okay, he said that there. Okay, let's like fast forward. He said the same thing there. Okay, that was the same answer there, blah, blah. And then he's still back like Zeke up. But like, we all know the truth. And like, he's kind of like, I felt like he was just like paddling upstream and it wasn't working out too well for him.
Well, I have a quick question. My thing, I listened to a lot of it. I think I missed the Tank Joe thing towards the end maybe. But isn't it like if he's afraid he's getting sued, wouldn't it be wise to like be careful of the things you say? Like, or even be talking in a space? Like if it was me and I wasn't sure of like what I was doing, I think I'd be like contacting a lawyer first before I got on the spaces.
On a recorded
spaces, I felt like I didn't want him to stop talking. Obviously, I wanted to hear what he was going to say. I wasn't going to give him like, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not going to give him any kind of like advice like that. I was just wondering,
but a space recorded on his own profile and he's doxed. Is that what you're talking about? It's not
and I just think it's interesting because I mean, sometimes it's better not saying anything until you know what you should and shouldn't be saying. But at the same time, maybe he feels he has nothing to hide. So
that was a bad move. That was a bad move last night, and it was even a worse move for like something like. Listen, I think we should all be in agreement that your tokens, you can do what you want. Like Joe said, when they hit your wallet, you do what you want.
Yeah.
Right? But also, he has held certain courts at times and had certain standards, and he wrote the Constitution and blah, blah, blah. And like, it's not like he said publicly, oh, I'm doing this because I'm going to fund Eggers as ordered, or like he's only talking about it now because it all came out in the wash. Like, people who live in glass houses have to be very fucking careful, Bbandz. Very careful.
So listen, Chris came up. I wonder if he has some comments on what transpired yesterday.
Hey, what's up? Well, one, I can only listen to spaces when I'm a speaker, so that's the only thing I can do. But I don't care about him selling the tokens because everybody's going to sell and do whatever they want. It's your wallet; you can do whatever you want. I just don't like you come out and you're all friendly and you're saying you're doing this for the platform, and you're really doing a lot of shady stuff in the back. Just dude, don't dox yourself and act like you're going to be like for the community and be out for the front of it if behind you're doing all the shady stuff. Like that's all I'm saying.
So yeah, basically what Robo said as well, that if you live in a transparent domicile, you shouldn't be accelerating objects of geological origin, right?
Yeah, basically.
Well, I like everyone said, nobody cares that he sold the tokens. They were saying that the amount of tokens he sold, he like did it all at once and it dropped the price of stars, right? Is that essentially to what happened?
It's not. It's Wolfman's tweet when he's shown the metrics of like what the volume's done since its inception. That's the fucking thing that's aggravated people.
Exactly. Yeah. So the fact that there's been around $6 million of volume, and it looks like, or it is, Jake that is responsible for selling around $5.4 million of volume. So that looks very bad, right?
Basically, like 90% of all of the selling pressure has come from Jake. That's essentially what's being said, right? Because it's all about selling pressure or buying pressure, isn't it? Come on, token price, right? Speculation. I mean, now it fucking works, right? He was selling, dumping, I should say, at 5 cents. Right? There you go. You believe in the project that much, but you like at 5 cents, you're gonna dump it down to fucking 1 point, whatever it is, right?
I thought like, don't people do like vesting schedules, or don't they like slowly, little by little, start
it's
like
the staking vested?
Exactly.
It's stakes vested. That's the problem, and that's
so
what
there's staking rewards.
Right, so you get vested, right, guys, on Cosmos, yeah, but those tokens, you're able to stake the vested tokens, so it's just like you've got the tokens and you're getting the rewards from the fucking emissions, and then you go and put them in an LP, like Jake did, because he had other tokens, and then you just dump all your fucking rewards. That's it. Right, I posted about race last night, tongue in cheek. Token farming, the hashtag wasn't fucking tongue in cheek. That's how Robo works. Like I'm more subtle than people realise, but not subtle, of course. I didn't give a fuck anyway. This is the reason that I never took a fucking job, except with RAC FM, unpaid as an intern, as Bruce's intern, as Bbandz. I made the coffee over here.
I'll take a frappuccino, sir. Make sure you put a little cinnamon on top. Thank you.
Oh, don't tell me I don't know. Don't tell me I don't know how you take your coffee. Fucking Andrew DM'd me weeks ago saying, bro, don't fuck it up. She'll go mad one day. You know something though, Bbandz. I mean, after what's transpired, the very fact that we've kept laughing, that we've kept building, that we just like kept all of us like in our individual little areas and as a collective, as a random like collective, etc., etc. We're just being proved to be the right kind of people, though, like to hang around with, like, yeah.
Did I miss a question being asked where like someone asked him why did he tell the Stargaze team that he was co-founding with that he was building another chain, or he just launched the chain and that nobody knew about?
I couldn't keep up with that bit. I'm gonna, like I say, yeah.
That's what I'm curious, because I'm curious. Did he say because it's in the tweet, in the Stargaze tweet, obviously things are also by perspective and how people see things. In the Stargaze tweet, it says
he regretted it. I remember him saying, I regret that. Like his choice there, yeah.
Why? Yeah, like why? Why hide that? And I think that to me is my big question. Like if you're not doing anything kind of like, I don't know, strange or shady, why not share, with a project that you're co-founding with, kind of what you're doing so that there's not like muddy water or anything? I don't understand the choice in not saying anything.
Could be millions of reasons, right? So just one, for example, if I worked in a project beforehand and like had co-workers and co-founders, and I told them, for example, I was working on this project and these people meant a lot of me, and they shamed me for working on something else beside the project we had together, right? Then I would probably hesitate with telling that stuff in the future on future projects with future co-workers. Just stuff like that. There could be millions of reasons and nuances.
Right.
I get your point.
Okay, I mean, I'm sober at the minute. Obviously, last night I wasn't, and I did mention this, but right, I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist. Stop me if I'm wrong. Don, who is employed by Stargaze, right? That's no secret. 15,000 stars a month he gets paid, or whatever it is, right? For Stargazer. Don started going after Jake in different places, mind as well. I'm talking in private group chats as well as public, but like not in the way that you think, right? But like the way that Don's actually doing this. Polytone and Ekes, right? Things weren't great before this. Since the Ekes big like Polytone, release tweet that nobody knew what was happening. I mean, some people knew what was being worked on. Some people didn't. But since the tweet, the relationship has descended between like Jake and that crew and Stargaze. It's descended rapidly. And if you go back and you look, you'll see that that's very evident in Don's videos. Right? This has been This has been coming for like a long time. Like I said last night, Don's been in certain group chats, like really going hard about this man. Like Don has abandoned Juno altogether. He is employed by Stargaze. He's very unhappy about what's happened. He hates people like Robo and Jack, etc. I agree with Don on many, many, many things might to do with this. But the Polytone was, what's that phrase? The one that brought the straw that brought the camel's back, right? Is that what we say in English, is it? The straw that brought the camel's back now?
Yeah. You're from England, right?
That's thanks, dude. Yeah. English is my language. I should know. Dickhead.
Billind is the term you're looking for.
The proof's in the pudding, bro. Polytone's the fucking straw that's brought the camels back, and that I might be wrong, But it's like that. There's just a step too far. And I know all about the open source and blah blah blah, but there's some deeper fucking shit going on. I tried to talk about the cosmism stuff last night. I think that's still fucking painful. I think that still burns like a little bit in the background kind of thing. But I will say, let's say that we're evaluating two people, right? Or two people, one on one hand, one on the other. Let's just say that like one hand has got a very heavy book in it, and it's nearly touching the floor. The other hand's tied to a lovely like helium balloon and it's floating up towards the ceiling. Now you work out which dev I'm talking about on which hand. That's up to you. But I know where my future fucking lies and where I want to believe and like build something and build fucking culture. And it's not going to be fucking on crocodile tears. Sorry, like.
When did he start crying? When did that happen? Like where? Like how forward do I have to go? Because that was towards the end.
It wasn't an outburst or anything like that. It was like a proper like choking back the tears, you know, choking back the tears. Like you know when like someone's proper like really trying to. Oh, dude, the emotion. I mean, this is my job, guys. Yeah, I'm a linguistic professor. Some people believe me. Some people know. Some people don't. Literally, you're going to I mean, I skipped to the important bits where I was told to skip to, listen to it. Then I went back and then I listened to the whole thing. Some of the people that came in mind, like Ray Raspberry and people like that, like just fucking so on point. To be fair to Jake, man, like he handled this. Like, I don't think I could have handled it like he did. Like, respect where respect's due, the fact he even did that. I think it was a silly, immature move. Yeah, we offered him a RAC FM closed mic, right, where he could have like just come on and then we could have got everything, then the questions could have come. Unfortunately, he exposed himself very unprepared and didn't come out looking. I thought 3 hours I've listened to, and I've listened like 5 hours actually, if you think about it. He came out exceedingly fucking not looking very good, like looking very immature, not a lot of business now, like just making money and, you know, lost money and then try to retrieve money. It's like, no, it's not very good, like not a good look. But I'm going to give the guy a second chance anyway, you know, I'm a fanboy.
Yeah, he has made some good products, right? Can't really.
But did you hear Joe last night about the Discord? They're talking about forking the chain, and airdropping, and like I fucking knew this was going to happen months ago.
Oh yeah, Finn put it on a track, bro.
Yeah, exactly. The plan.
I said it many times. GM fam. That's what that means.
The plan for ages has been to fucking fork Juno because they can't do anything with it. Like, they can't do anything with the whales' money and other people's shit and blah blah blah. Like, they need to get rid of some fucking baggage. But they are gonna fucking fork Juno.
So buy Juno now and stake it, or is that what you're saying?
Well, it wouldn't be a stupid move if the new tokens, you can fucking dump them when they do come out, because it's going to be used as governance token. But what I can say is that the airdrop or whatever they do, it'll be like some vested shit like wind or whatever. So, like, yeah.
Did
you'll be getting your money in 2 years. Doubt. What was that, darling? Sorry. I missed that.
Anyway, so I had a funny experience that was fucking traumatic. Not fucking traumatic. That's maybe an exaggeration. But I got hacked yesterday, and it was a really clever scam, man.
Wait, what do you mean you got hacked? Like, wait, like?
Oh, not okay. So I got not hacked.
I could see you and stuff like that.
I got
infected
with a Trojan horse, and it was called Fonzie. The horse was called Fonzie. And as soon as I got infected, I was aware of it. And it took me a couple of hours to wash the dirty shit off me. But yeah, it was a clever one.
Where did it come from? Where did it come from?
So, okay. It came from a project that is called Destruction NFT. And it was it was very clever. So I wake up one morning, I've gotten a DM from
Wait a minute.
Twitter.
You opened it on the link, and you have a virus now.
I've cleaned it. It took me a couple of
you
hours.
sent me the link though, bro.
No. I didn't send you the link that infected me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's okay. But I'll tell you what happened. But yeah, so one morning I wake up, I got a DM from a dude that is a recruiter, according to his Twitter profile. And he's contacting me regarding a job from another project that is seeking an advisor/ambassador. And this is an FPS MMORPG NFT project. So, okay, sure, I'm interested. He says, yeah, just contact this guy. He's the chief operating officer. And I contact him, show him the message I had with the recruiter, and we start talking salary and terms and all that stuff, right? And we talk for a couple of days, maybe a week. And then he goes, okay, we can have a call. I'll send you over the alpha videos of the project. I'll send you over the employee contracts and everything you need to know. And that's just in a Google file. And in a Google link in the zip file, I download the zip file, I scan it with 2 different programs, everything looks good. I unzip it, I scan it again, everything looks good. And then I open a file and it just pops up, man, you got a Trojan horse. So I used a program called RKill to to terminate processes on your computer and different stuff that's running. And then I used a program called Hitman Pro to terminate the files. And while I did that, I connected to a very, very, very tight VPN.
Trying to get a Web3 job. Look at him trying to get an ambassador's role and leave RAC, and look what happens. Imagine if that was us. Imagine if we'd tried to trick you, Bruce, and we're like, right, shall we see if this cunt's real or not? Shall we see if he's committed to the process? Home Pleb, welcome to the floor.
So I just took another job that I might gonna talk about in the future.
Do what the fuck you like, man. We didn't give a fuck, man. We're all just a collective of random motherfuckers who are just causing chaos in the world. We love it, don't we? Home Pleb, hello.
Morning, Robo. How are you, bud?
Oh, dude, I'm hyped about Bbandz. Bbandz, dude,
is she keeping you medium?
Tonight.
Bbandz, is he staying medium?
She came and threw down, and I just okay, check it out. To your man, bang. And then your man's oh, fucking hell. I told him in the thing, I said, mind, Bbandz is going to be lead interview with you. Get ready. She's the fucking meta queen, dude. And he came and he delivered, but wow. Great night, Home Pleb, yeah, great day.
Anyways, one thing, I just wanted to jump up here for a minute. I missed it when you guys were doing the recap of yesterday. But I did want to say, Robo, you made a couple of great calls. One of them was about 2 weeks ago when you said trading the Juno 1-to-1 with Kuji was the opportunity of a lifetime. So I wanted to bomb somebody's Twitter space with that tweet.
Do you know how much hatred? I got through that? Do you know something? I'm gonna be honest. Listen to this. I got 4 DMs last night, right, from community plebs about me Stargaze tweet about the wheelchair mafia when they got 30 million stars back, and I'm like, these morphos best buy. What a tongue-in-cheek fucking joke. If you've been following me or anything and you kind of realize that's a joke and you feel like you have to come in the DMs and say, oh, that's so disgraceful and so disrespectful and blah. Dude, what are you doing with your life? If you think, I cannot believe sometimes, Home Pleb, when the real things that to be talked about, Zeke and Polytron and blah, 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 yeah, you're going to get the proper Robo, but then I'm going to shit-talking, shit-posting, What's wrong with people? When did people get so salty, Home Pleb?
I think it was about this time last year, wasn't it? I think we got a heaping dose of salt about this time last year.
He's fucking right as well, isn't he? Come on, then what was the other call? You said you had a couple of calls.
Well, you said your man on the other side of the world was going to be waking up in a few hours to the news, and that's what he led off his moment in the Twitter space with. It was kind of like you basically had I mean, you know, when you've had enough conversations with somebody, you know their thought
Did you
process
hear
and their
that?
speech
Did you hear
process.
that?
So it was pretty funny. I was like, damn, Robo called this pretty much spot on 6 hours prior.
I can't believe you caught that. Wow. I'll tell you what, guys, listen, Home Pleb listens, and he listens well because I know exactly what and who he's talking about, and it's fucking hilarious. That's exactly how the conversation came. Well, I woke up to this.
it was spot on. So anyways, there was lots of nuggets throughout yesterday. And then my overall take was basically kind of what we had said in Tank's space, right? Like the apology was half-assed. You could hear it in the voice at times where it was like, well, yeah, I could be like, fuck it all, it's my tokens. So I don't know. You know, it is what it is. Like I said in my moment of talking in Tank's space yesterday, it is what it is. It's kind of what goes on and what happens. So anyhow, carry on.
Look, I said to Jake, look, if Safu can fucking come back, anybody can come back. If Martin Schurkel can come back, Jake Arnold can come back.
Did you say March? Are you talking about that guy? That
Yeah, the milady guy.
The woman.
He bought him a lady. He came out and he bought him a lady, didn't he? And that's when fucking Milady started sending it again. Can you not remember when he was in the first space? Were you not in that first Spaces with Martin Schurkel, no? When he bought them a lady. That's a fucking legendary space, that, like. Honestly, if anyone missed that, like, that's a classic.
Hey, so you know how we, like, try to make friends and stuff with people, and, you know, we sometimes joke around too much or whatever, you know?
We're not doing too well right now.
No. Listen. So I go into space, right? I go into a Skirpy space. He invites me and he gives me the mic. This guy launches a token. The name of his token is Dill. So then I ask him if he's going to be launching any other tokens as well. Maybe like a Doe token, so we can have a liquidity pool, Dill and Doe. You know?
Did you get kicked out of the room or not? What happened? Tell us what happened. Did you get kicked out or not?
Well, the host was not amused, but like a lot of people sent me like, a lot of people were laughing, but the host got quiet. And then the guy whose token I was talking about, he got quiet. So
wait,
I was just
Bbandz,
like,
that was a Skirpy space? Like the dude who runs Skirpy? Because he's always foul-mouthed and talking shit. Like he got upset about it?
No, he just got quiet. And then I don't know, I don't know, maybe I crossed some invisible line.
He's just being a fucking dildo.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe
that
it's
is
because
so
you're a lady
funny.
and there are a bunch of NFT bras over there, you know?
Bbandz, I actually was on a big Skirpy space, and I made him so uncomfortable that he got quiet. I was the only one, and I know exactly what you mean.
It might be man thing, like, you know what I mean? Like he's supposed to be the funniest one.
He's literally sitting there and trying to figure out: is she hitting on me or is she joking? Is she hitting on me or is she joking?
So, Bbandz, did you see the picture in the Discord today or not? It was before you woke up. I didn't know if you didn't scroll
I was
up.
kicked out, by the way. He dropped me down to listener. I just wanted to let you know. So I was kind of kicked out. He didn't fully kick me out.
Oh my God.
He put me to listener.
Fragile.
Okay.
He put you down.
Bbandz, did you not see the picture in the comment in the Discord today or not? No. I got booted today out of the massive Pepe space.
Oh yeah, that's why I wanted to say this, because when I saw that you got kicked out of the Pepe space, I was like, oh, I got to tell what happened with Skirpy space. I get really kicked. Like, they didn't send me all the way out. They just sent me okay, you're not allowed to talk anymore.
Oh, it said like you've been removed as a listener. Then all of a sudden the fucking space ended, and I'm like, what's going on here? What the fuck's happening? Like, I got proper booted. Like, never mind. I was listening to the Christian space. You know that fucking Solana dude, is it? It was quite a big space as well, so I was listening, and then they were like, "Oh, it's like there's a European Pepe one going on. I put it in the nest and blah blah." So I went over, and there was only like 4 of the fucking plebs talking, and I'm like, "Oh, they're like they were." Sorry, there was one like it sounded like German or something like that, you know, and then 3 English fellas. There was a decent crowd in there, like all fucking Solana NFT Pepe people or whatever, and I went up and they were laughing their heads off. We were having like mint crack, and they were like, because the man called us, like he said, "Oh, what's it like in Newcastle at the minute?" I went, "Who you talking to, you daft cunt?" Like, the typical Robo, right? And they were having a laugh, right? Because it was the Brits, and they knew. They're like, "Oh, you're from Sunderland, are you?" And I was like, "You got that right this time, didn't you?" Anyway, I was having crack for about 15, 20 minutes. And then your man said, "Oh, have you heard the pepper wraps?" And I was like, no. So they put a pepper wrap on. I didn't know that AI's been making these pepper wraps. Anyway, it's pretty fucking shit. So when the wrap's on, I thought, oh, these motherfuckers like music, they like rap, they like NFTs. I'm going to go and find fucking Good Morning, GM fam, and put it in the nest, right? Well, I went and found, is he in here, Mr. Fox? Is that IBC Mafia? Because he's the one. So I went and got Mr. Fox's tweet, the GM fam, and put it in the nest, right? And I forgot, well, I didn't even think. It's got the Juno hashtag. Holy fuck, right? They deleted out of the nest, right? Listen to this. They stopped their rap in the middle of the rap. Like, the rap was halfway through, and he went, "Who put that in the nest?" And I'm thinking, bro, it's got my name underneath, you daft cunt. What do you mean, who put that in the nest? Do you know who put it in? Like, and then they made such a palaver, man. Dude, that's not cool. It's got a fucking hashtag, and it is a Pepe in. They fucking went right after me, and then bang, I was down as listener, and then bang, I was kicked out the room, and I'm thinking, go on, fuck you, you daft cunt. You think I give a fuck? I just rugged your room, you mugs.
Killed their vibe, man. You harshed their vibe. How dare you? How dare you?
With a Juno hashtag, imagine the smell of that had actually been a Juno of all hashtags.
It's funny because that's
way down when the Juno hashtag pisses you off.
I was just about to say
it's
that.
funny because oh my God, guys, I'm the host. Look, if you open up your phone and then you look in the space and underneath all the names, there's only one guy that has like the title I do. You better respect my authority.
I don't know how I feel about that.
God damn it. How do I remove you from Earth? Can't find the button.
From Earth? This is my home. I'm going to go to Mars, Elon. Listen, but Chris does want to talk after you. Just FYI.
Yeah. I just want to tell Robo that whole ordeal with that space, that reminds me of like this new character I'm thinking of building. So it's like this guy that is really, really into the movie Matrix, right? And especially the character Neo. And whenever somebody like quote the movie or quote Neo wrong, he goes completely bonkers, right? And I think I am going to call him like a neo-Nazi.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
I was just going to say, Bruce, unfortunately, I see RAC FM, and then under that, I see Bbandz, co-founder, space host, team member. So Bbandz' name is up there more than Bruce, man.
I'm gonna fuck you up, Chris. I'm gonna wait 18 years until your little baby can take care of himself, and then I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Oh man,
yeah, but you'll have to deal with two of us. You'll have to deal with like an 18-year-old spry kid who's been working out, like ready to go and ready to defend his dad, and like
you don't know. Bro, I've been beating up kids and adults ever since I was born, bro.
You're just walking down the street looking for a dad and son couple and just like what, punching them in the back of the head and running away.
I'm like, what you happy and joyful about?
Bruce, wait a minute, Chris. You like literally the minute that there's two of you speaking, you've got such a bad echo, dude. I don't know if you've changed like from the Wi-Fi to the 5G or something, but the echo was insane there. Like, yeah, talking about that, you lot have not had to have the fucking walk of fucking shame that I've had to go through today. I mean, I've had to listen back to Robo trying to explain to fucking Home Pleb and them about daft little cunt or something last night, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Robo, can you not fucking just shut the fuck up after midnight? Like that was terrible, a lot like Home Pleb.
Yeah, Robo, you like
I
every
think
time.
we got the actual like spelling and pronunciation down pat. Like I think most of the community should be able to mimic daft little cunt at this point, even if they can't get the accent pikey enough.
Daft.
You daft little cunt.
Little. There's a T
It's not
You double little
always
cunt.
there, but there's a T and there's not a second T. You got to drop the second T.
Homepleb's got it. Oh, Bbandz, did you hear that last night? Oh my goodness. Oh, fucking please.
Homepleb, you might as well teach your kids to say it now, right? So they can nail the accent before they get, trouble.
Hey, Bruce, my daughter says fuck all.
Good fucking job, Homepleb. I applaud you.
So, I've been going into all these other spaces, like with fun and them and like the salon a lot. And like, because there's no there's no further culture or anything during the day for me now, right? Everybody's fucked off, So I've been in jumping in some of the Liz Diz spaces and shit like this, the random ones with Harry and that, right? And honest, that is the first fucking thing. Every new space, every fucking new co-host or whoever I meet, the fucking accent is the first thing they bring up. I mean, it doesn't piss me off. It gets me in a little bit, but still, I'm gonna wait a little while before mentioning the accent. Have a bit of decorum,
I mean, but your accent is very strong. It's if Sofia Vergara, she's on this show. She's a Hispanic actress.
Shut the fuck!
And sometimes when she's
I love
talking,
Sophia.
It's hard to understand her, but she's talking English and shit. It's kind of like the same thing. It's very strong. It's noticeable. So
I think
you can't hide it, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's just
she's lovely. She's lovely. She's married to your man. She's married to your man, isn't she? She's married to your man. What's he called? The baseball guy, right?
I don't know. I don't care who she's married about. We're just talking about how she sounds and stuff like that.
But you're talking about how she sounds when she's speaking English and she's Spanish. I'm fucking English and I'm speaking English, motherfucker.
Yeah, but you have a dialect thing. It's a different dialect. Anyways, what were you gonna say, Homestead?
You just have to confirm that you're not speaking to a bare-knuckled, pikey character from a Guy Ritchie movie, because it's the only place you've ever heard quite that lilt of an English accent, I think, and so
the fact that I'm a fucking caravan for the fucking caravan got in a fucking Wales.
Get in your caravan and
the fact that I'm a fucking caravan for the fucking caravan got in a fucking Wales.
What the fuck does he want the caravan for if the caravan doesn't have any wheels? You daft little cunts.
I wouldn't have got that. Wow.
Look at that. Translated to the Queen's English right there.
Now you've heard it. But by the Danish Howard Stern, did anybody catch Joe last night? Joe said, I even forgot I said that. Literally, guys, listen, this is Joe's life. He wakes up, right, at 5:30 or something, got to take care of the kids. He's like, I'm going to DM Robo first. Literally, I'm his first point of call every morning. And then I just time-stamped him, like, bro, the Danish Howard Stern. And he's like, shit, I forgot I said that. Bruce, that's what he called you last night. He's like, listen to this cunt, the Danish Howard Stern. Oh, bro, it was amazing.
Bro, I'm pretty sure as a young kid, I've seen one or two clips from his studio that has excited me upon reasonable doubt. Really, that radio show is crazy.
I'm going to say this now. Guys, listen to this. Joe and I are friends, right? But we haven't got a bromance. But he's in my DMs talking about Bruce, and I'm like, bro, you're getting a bromance on with this guy, aren't you? He's been giving Bruce shit in public, and he's in the DMs oh man, get him to do a space with me.
You want to hear something funny? I was singing about Joe out in the shower today. I have a whole song about Joe and his life.
Oh, wait. Bbandz, how do we... Is that worse than taking the kids in the woods or what? We're blindfold.
I don't know if the next thing we hear is there's going to be some kind of shrine that he's singing in front of, and he's turned it from a song to a hymnal. Then we got to worry. But I think we're all right.
Just me and the boys going to Joe Church.
The best thing about Joe is he's dying to have a midlife crisis so he can just run away to Thailand. He's like, fuck, when my midlife crisis fucking happens, so I can just fucking run away.
He's in it. He's in DeFi. He's in Web3. He's having it. It's happening right now.
Literally, he's over 40 years old. he's doing YouTube content, fucking educational videos, right? And he's over 14 years or 40 years old, and he's in DeFi, and he's still over 40 years old. No, you cannot call them educational with those fucking thumbnails.
With those fucking thumbnails. Holy fuck, I just died.
Hey, so remember when Tank asked me what I thought about the whole situation with Jake? And how it was like, I just want him to admit that he's Edward Scissorhands, and he's been in a mansion by himself for a lot of years, and nobody taught him manners. And then I'm gonna understand. My God,
that was hilarious.
Terrible. That was terrible.
No. Do you know what was even better? It was even better when you got the co-host and you went, right, I'm muting you motherfuckers, and you're just like, oh my God, you're like, send me the co-host power.
And then you invited Jimmy up, which I knew was going to end spectacularly, like always.
He wasn't even being that terrible. But he wasn't being terrible. Was he being terrible? He actually sent me a mess.
Who did he tell to shut up? Who did he tell to shut up? Was it Joe? Did he tell Joe to shut up? Yeah. He's like, Joe, shut the fuck up.
No.
It was Jacob.
No, he told Jacob to go rob another truck.
Jacob?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, but you see, like, okay, so he had really good points, and he actually sent me a message saying that he's been trying to not troll people, but teach them how to troll and trying to be just a little bit nicer. And see, and we're actually going to do a show together next Friday. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it happens.
You and Jimmy?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, he agreed.
Please. Get a reminder in, Mike. Is that like a what?
Smell.
Oh, imagine the smell.
I want to be on that show, please, Bbandz.
Wait, just the three of you. Just the three of you, like just you, Bruce, and Jimmy, right?
Like someone send me a message, you're like, be really careful talking to Jimmy. I'm like, man, me and Jimmy been in each other's DMs for like the longest, so.
I'm gonna bring some really shiny stones and some mussels for him.
Oh, they're like eggs, hard-boiled eggs. Have you seen otter, the way they can take the shell off? I'll tell you what, I love otters.
Have you seen the way I can take a shell off a hard-boiled egg?
Dude, I'm talking about the otters. Why you got to make it all up?
You know what? He says that, and then I can just imagine, because I seen what he looks like, just taking those giant ass lips and like sucking the egg to the shell right off the egg and spitting the shell, and, like, eating the egg.
Do you watch the
like sunflower seeds?
Do you watch the YouTube shorts of the fella who's got the otters in Japan? So there's this like YouTube. It's fucking got millions of fucking subscribers.
Hey, Robo.
He takes his otters for a wait. They're amazing.
Wait. Can we just talk about how people peel their eggs for a moment? I want to hear this.
Wait, do we need to cut off the show? It's been like 2 hours and it's a recorded
this is the last thing. Yeah, last thing. Sorry, Robo. But how do you guys peel your eggs? Robo, go first.
Like normal people with me fucking hands.
Oh, flip. Next, Bbandz.
I take my egg and I tap it on a hard surface a bunch of times, so it creates like cracks all around it.
Is that hard surface Andrew's face?
Is this like an educational video?
And then, he's asking. And then I try to peel the shell with the like skin stuff kind of with it, so I get the whole egg and not like ripping into the egg itself, because there's like this like weird skin that's underneath the shell.
Yeah, and you're using your fingers, right?
Yes. How do you do? Do you put the whole egg in your mouth and just eat the shell too?
Wouldn't surprise me. I can imagine Arnie would do. Put the egg in the mouth.
I go hot water into cold water, and then I roll the egg and get the shell off.
Okay, I'm going to teach you something now. Homepleb, he can't use this trick because you can use it with fresh egg. But if it's store-bought egg, you can do it. What you do is you crack it just like Chris and Bbandz said, right? But then you take a little, what's it called, a teaspoon. And then you get it in under the shell, right? And in under that weird thing that Bbandz was calling about, like that extra layer between the egg and the shell. And then you just slide your teaspoon all the way around and you just pull out the egg. and you have like one whole shell you just pull the egg out of and you just throw it out. No little pieces, no shitty nothing.
Is that your secret sauce? Is that the alpha?
That is like, this is the depth of Bruceman. You've seen it. There's nothing more.
Bro.
This is all I contain.
Bro, I pay a Thai guy $5 to do mine. Easy streets. Literally, I just got, honestly, I'm not going to do me on fucking eggs. I just go down the road. There's a fucking fella, does a hard-boiled eggs just down the road. It's class.
That's perfect, man.
Literally, you can just get out of your door and find what the fuck you want to you, man. It's amazing. Fellas, ladies.
So, like, is your egg, hold on,
yeah.
is it pre-peeled? Like, you're like, hey, I need a hard-boiled egg.
Yes.
And make sure you peel it.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. And also,
is it extra to get it peeled, or it's not?
No,
Okay.
there's not on offer. And you know something, even like you've got like a little bit of tamarind sauce that they've got for you if you want to. Oh goodness me, a hard-boiled egg and tamarind sauce. I'm telling you, it's a right wank fest. Like it's got to be one of the greatest breakfasts on earth. Like if you catch that about 10 in the morning when he's just cooked them, and the tamarind sauce is like still warm. Holy moly, man! And I never believed, because tamarind sauce is really sweet, right? Anyone had, like, you know what I mean? Tamarind sauce, yeah?
Yeah, like that. It's like a brown, like soury sweet, right?
Yep, I've got three trees in my fucking garden. They're horrible. I hate these fuckers. They're like the worst weed in the world, tamarind. Like, but I'll tell you what, it's amazing. Tamarind shrimp. If anyone's had the real, like, deep south tamarind shrimp or whatever, man, that's some real. I saw Chris throwing the emojis up. I know he's had that tamarind shrimp in his life, like Chris, right?
Oh, hell yeah. That shit is so good. I'll eat that by the handful. I'll look like a street pleb just stuffing into my mouth.
Oh, bro, if you put, I tell you what, if you put the tamarind shrimp on one side of the table and you put like the Penang, the Malaysian Penang duck curry on the other side and a big pot of rice in the middle, dude, I'm not leaving for a while. Like, staying at your house for at least a day.
The first time I had that duck you were talking about, I was living with like a Guyanese and Indian family for a little bit because I got kicked out of my house because I was bad. But yo, I've never like eaten such good food with like, and without forks. Like I sat down and they were like making all the roti and everything, and I was just like, "Where's the utensils?" They're like, "Oh, you just grab that and then you grab that. Just make sure your hands are clean." And that was like the first dinner I ever ate with like no utensils.
Bro, it's class. I'm game for the no utensils. Like I can sit down and have a full on meal with no utensils. Like, and especially when that roti is absolutely dripping up all of that sauce, man. Oh, a roti or roti, whatever you call it. Like, fuck, man. I tell you, those Malaysians.
Listen, there's the roti woman or whatever that I watch on YouTube in Bangkok. Have you ever gotten roti from her?
I walk past and I'm telling you, I'm working. Right, okay, do you want me to get a photo? When do you want?
Yes.
Monday. Okay, Monday I'll go and get like a selfie video with her, right? Yeah, no problem.
I'm glad you know what I'm talking about.
She literally is about, from where Bruce, I've only just started. Bruce knows because he's hosting now Monday and Wednesday. I've only just started a couple of weeks ago. I think this is like the third week. She literally works about 150 to 200 meters along the road, like, and I have to walk past to get on the underground train. Yeah, she's all over the place. How many people make videos of her, man?
I don't know. She has a whole channel and stuff, and then sometimes they're like, the roti woman, she's crying. Why is she so sad? She's like, they're gonna change where I'm supposed to be, selling my roti. Please help me. And then people like send money to like help her, and then like, they have like this different situations that she's going through. She even shows how she makes her roti, and like she's literally making it on the floor.
But people don't understand.
It's a whole different culture.
Oh, for sure. But people don't understand about the life of a street vendor here and what they have to go through. Guys, if you like have been around the streets and like lived in Bangkok long enough, like I have, night and day being out there, whatever, right? You'll see this like perpetual cycle of the street traders. They are, first of all, the heart and soul of the city because they feed the people like for cheap who can't afford to go to the restaurants and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's clean, like people didn't like see these big skyscrapers and they think, oh, money and rich and blah, blah. Yeah, but they have like cleaners and janitors and all these like people who work for like 15,000, this is guys, 9,000 baht, right? So like 330 USD or whatever. It's like the minimum wage here, yeah. The minimum wage here in Thailand, I believe, if I'm right in thinking this, 300 baht a day, which works out roughly at about 9,000 baht a month, right? These people need to eat somewhere. And their choice is either going to 7-Eleven, which is fucking shit, or going to these street vendors that, like, they'll prepare, like Bbandz is saying, they prepare everything at home. If they're doing chicken fried rice, they're growing their own chickens. They're getting up at 5, 4 a.m., killing them, right? They're bringing the chicken to be able to do the chicken fried rice. They sell it. But they have to, where their plot is, where they've been for years, where they're well known, you know, famous, 20 years or whatever, 25 years, yeah, the parents have been there, etc., etc. They have to, like, go and get their cart where it's been stashed, because these carts get stashed all over the street. You wouldn't believe, like, what Bangkok's like and how they do it, but it works. And nobody steals anything either. And they'll push their cart back to their thing every fucking morning. They'll clean down all the cart, they'll set up for the day, and bang, they'll work and all day till they run out. Then they go through all the trouble of cleaning the entire cart down. Like, they're all really fucking clean. Like, if you watch these Thais, the way that they wash up, like, the street people, the way that they clean their shit and, like, do it all, put the cover over and everything, right? They really take care, of it, because they're feeding people, they're feeding themselves. And then they put it away for the night, and then they'll go home exhausted, having made, like, you know, I mean, if they're making 600 baht a day, they're making, like, you know, double the minimum wage. But it's such a tough existence in life, and yet so many people prefer to do it here. First of all, because they haven't had any previous opportunities. They come from a poor background. The social issues. There are so many reasons. The black economy. None of these street vendors here pay taxes or anything. The amount of people that pay tax in Thailand is actually quite low compared to the population. They're self-sufficient. Like I say, that they're selling stuff that they're growing or that they're breeding themselves. You heard Bbandz talking about the roti woman. Rotis are like a really easy, well, not easy, but it's a very quite, you know, anything like to do with pastry and stuff is generally the turnover from what you spend, invest to what you produce is generally quite high. That's why you see all the bakeries and stuff everywhere. But these people are the lifeblood of the entire economy of Bangkok. Bear in mind, there's like around 12 million people within the city on any given day, and up to 20 with the people that commute into the city on a regular daily basis. So, like, yeah.
Robo, I'm gonna end this space very soon because I'm getting super duper rocked.
Ciao, guys. Bye.
I had fun tonight, Bbandz. Thank you so much for tonight, for leading that. That was an amazing performance. We are in your debt, yeah?
Yeah, it was a blast. I had fun.
Absolutely. See you, Bbandz.
Can we get Finn to cut the space then? Yeah?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I think Finn will do his wonderful cutting job as editing job as he usually do. So perfect.
No worries.
And thank you for coming up, Robo.
It's all, mate. I'm free after what happened yesterday. I'm so hyper. I have to say that, like, getting signed off for that. There's been a little bit of an issue today with, like, what happened with the print, but that's no problem. Like, I'm just so happy to have got, like, essentially the culmination of 2 months of, like, talks, negotiations, and then contract signing and fucking holidays, and I'm just glad to have, like, shipped. Anyway, Brucey, you say goodbye to Chris. I'm going to drop down. Take care, everyone. Great interview tonight. If you're just joining us, go back and listen. Reach Metaverse. We're incredibly good. And yeah, if not, catch it on Spotify, and Finn will cut the interview out. Right, take care. Thanks, Bruce. Cheers, Chris.
Thank you, Robo. Yeah, thank you, Homestead. Thank you, Chris, for coming up, and thank you, everybody who has been listening today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Anybody got some last words before we end it down? Close it down?
I just want to say it's good talking to you all, and everyone have a good day. Be productive. Do one thing productive.
Absolutely. Some people don't wash their ass every day, and you should do that. That's productive, I guess. Anyway, this was RAC FM, the Metaverse Reach Around, hosted by bruceman, co-hosted by Robo, and our queen Bbandz. Finn, thank you for editing. You're a gold child. See ya, everybody.
There's this principle in like Taoism. There's this principle in like Taoism where it's like the more you fight something, the more like the opposite of what you want, like just inevitably kind of starts to happen. There's this principle in like Taoism, where it's like the more you fight something, the more like the opposite of what you want inevitably it kind of starts to happen.
Chirping on the Bird app, listening to nerds flap, wondering why the fuck my timeline's so cursed. It's like everybody's holding heavy bags in Web3. That's why they can't fly, they just drowning in the bird bath, fishing for some dry powder. Watch how we ignite the tower, blowing up their bank accounts, forgetting how to fight the power. Y'all don't even realize how deep this shit goes. They preaching open source, but don't listen to the code. And now it's mutiny, community, uprise. There's no more humility, futility, plus size. Motherfuckers leaking from the wrench down to the bare metal. Which side the line you bleeding out on when the dust settles? Motherfucking west side shit, needle and noose. Sticking with my armory, and Beto and Bruce. Reppin' psychedelic artistry, believing the truth. Like these motherfuckers even need a reason to sue? GM fam.
Really worth all the effort? Is it really worth all the fighting? Is it really worth all the drama? And the answer, I think, is a clear no.
They started using Zoom, now we finna zoom out. Teaching all these plebiscites what this game's really all about. Little baby bitches when they choose to have fits. All you're left with is kibble when you lose all them bits. And that kibble's just sawdust, this shit is all rust. Not a great look, you're what we call all nuts. And I for one did not see that coming. Cracking open books, yo, that's a lot of money. Meanwhile over here rewiring features. More critical thinking, less knee-jerk. More evolution, less shitcoin preachers pretending to be teachers. Y'all just predatory leeches. I mean, please, just look at the track record. A bunch of VC rap fucks sucking up the cheddar. The recipe is 2 steps, rinse and repeat. Now we all in your butts and we bring in receipts. GM fam, have a seat.
If you're listening to this, my plea to you would be like, don't have to take a side on it. Just say like, is it really worth this war of attrition? It might cost us a lot more than what can be gained by like fighting this to the bitter end. And sometimes it's better to just like move on.
TerraSpaces.